Hello guys, welcome to the show, and today is February 12th, 2019, a Tuesday. Really glad to have you guys here. Now listen, here's what's happening in the world. I did a show on my Delta Report I tried to put it in my own words, just what a mess China's really in, And it doesn't appear to be in such a mess. It's because of the way they do things in China is different, But the shadow banking system in China, I talk about it over the Delta Report, and just what a mess China's in. Now, I'm going to take a look at the Baltic Dry Index, because we got a really falling Baltic Dry Index here today, and it's fell down below 600 now at this point. So let's get the charts open right here, and let me see, is it on? Whoop. There she goes. Okay. Now let's first take a look at this chart here of what's going on with the world production of precious metals. This is just interesting to look at, because first off, they're showing that there's 18 billion ounces of silver out there. I don't think there's nowhere near 18 billion ounces of silver. It's lucky if there's 1 billion ounces of silver. But what's interesting of this is they show the dropping numbers in the precious metals reserve. Also gold, they show dropping numbers in the precious metals reserve, and I believe that is true. We're chewing through our reserves in the precious metals that are available for sale into the open market is extremely small. Now your reserves that are not available for sale are much larger. They're in the billions of ounces, but in the silver, billions of ounces of silver, but they're not available for sale unless the price goes way up. Those are people that are actually holding, not only just people holding, banks holding. Like, take a look at JP Morgan Bank. They're holding huge, vast reserves of silver, and it is available for sale, but not at these prices. They're waiting for something big, and we see the silver inventories dropping, but we also see world production's up. What's up with that? Well, I'll tell you what's up with that. They're digging the easiest, they're picking the low-hanging fruit. They're digging the easiest stuff out first, and this is going to lead to sudden production inclines that are coming in the upcoming years of silver, So silver is kind of like an Achilles heel in the world's financial system. It's such a small quantity of it that if you got a billionaire like Donald Trump even, he could corner the market. Let's face it, the Hunt brothers tried to corner the market back when, Let's take a look at the U.S. national debt clock. Well, look at her going up. 21.9 trillion and counting. She's almost up to $22 trillion, and she's just a-moving. Look at those numbers just flying by. Let's take a look at our 3-month LIBOR rate today. And what we see, LIBOR was climbing really good, and we see a little slump back in the LIBOR rate. Just happened recently when all these buyers have been coming in buying the bonds, the bonds, buying them up. Let's go over here and take a look at today's silver price. And let me pull the chart down so we can see it. And we see a declining price in silver today. It was up earlier, but it's showing even with the board, $15.68 for the bid. But it looks like it's declining right now. It looks like it could break down through the lower level of the range that it's in. But I tend to think it won't, but we're gonna have to keep our eye on it. Let's take a look at gold while we're here. 1309. Now gold's up $2 on the day, but it's declining right now too, right at this moment. So it keeps on declining like that. It could lose that $2 it had earlier. Now let's take a look at cryptocurrency. We'll take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin today is riding at 35.73. Now it made these gains back up to 37.11, and it's held it, pretty much held it. It's been slumping a little bit, but not much. Pretty much holding its gains at 35.73. Take a look at cryptocurrency market capitalizations. Now it was 122 billion. It's backed off to 120 billion.5. So 1.5 billion is lost, but it's maintaining its gains pretty good, you know. Coins aren't down that much, really. 52.9% Bitcoin dominance. Let's just take a look at Litecoin real quick while we're here. Litecoin is still over 40 bucks. It was like 43 bucks. Now it's down to 42.90, and it's holding its own. It's down 3.16% today. All the coins are holding their own pretty good, really. Considering they went up, now they're holding their own, you know. That's what we like to see them do. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones today. She's up 246 points on the day so far, 0.98%. But you know what the big mover today is, really? We're going to take a look at it right now. This is the big mover of the day, and it's been flying up. It's up $1.54 on the day. 2.94% up is oil. 53.95 for Sweet Lake crude. Now that's a pretty good little gain, you know. And over the last 5 days, look, we've had a pretty good little spree in oil. I mean, it's been going up like a lot. So we like to see what's happening with the price of oil going up, you know. Generally, the tendency is the price of oil goes up, the dollar goes down in value. It means that the dollar's going down in value. Even if the dollar doesn't show itself going down in value on the U.S. dollar index, if we see the price of oil going up, because it's a petrodollar, because the dollar is primarily used to buy oil with, means you can buy less oil with the dollar. It means the dollar's purchasing power is less. So even if the U.S. dollar index doesn't budge, that's only because the dollar is being weighed against a bunch of other currencies that are no good. And the dollar is the best one, you know. It doesn't reflect the dollar to oil. When it should reflect the dollar to oil, the purchasing power of the dollar should be reflected to oil instead of to these other currencies that are junk, garbage. Let's take a look at the bonds today, and we see rising rates, except for the short end of the yield curve. Short end of the yield curve is falling, but all the long end is going up. 2 basis points on the U.S. 30-year. That's climbed the most of any, is the 30-year. It's just above 3%, 3.019%. U.S. 10 years at 2.679. Now we're going to take a look at the dollar. 96.92 today. And it's dropping a little bit. Probably being the reason why it probably is dropping a little bit has got to do with the oil price going up so sharply today. Now let's take a look here at Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank, they're just keeping their head above water. They're at 7.5 euro today. You got to really keep our eye on Deutsche Bank, because Deutsche Bank is down near its bottoms. It's doggy paddling right now. It's just keeping its head above water, Deutsche Bank. So we got to keep our eye on it. Now we're going to take a look at the U.S. The Baltic Index, which is what the Baltic Index is shipping, you know. And she broke down below 500 right now. And if we go to the long-term chart, we'll go to the 5-year. I think this only goes out 5 years. We can see there was another dip a little while ago, couple years ago. There was another dip, you know, where she went down below 400, and it alarmed everybody when the Baltic went below 400. But right now it's nosediving, and it's heading down toward 400 right now. It's broke down below 600. It's 595 and dropping. And I think this has an awful lot to do with the trade wars that are going on between the United States and China. So this has been your market report for this morning. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to leave here in a couple days. I'm going to leave, I think, on the 15th. And then, of course, I got to fly home. And then it's going to take me probably a day or two to get back arranged, so I'll be missing a day or two there after I get home, before I can get my equipment hooked back up again and get broadcasting from home. Thank you guys for listening, and like and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next market report. Bye-bye, guys.